Wow, it looks good. Oh my goodness. Wow. Oh boy. Oh yeah, these passengers love it. Look at that. All right, good morning. We're going to be taking a flight today from Oakland International up to Ukiah. We got some passengers to take, and should be a good day for flying. We've had some terrible weather. A lot of storms in the Bay Area recently, and yesterday it cleared up, and today's another clear day. We should actually have some clear skies for the next few days here into the new year, and then I think New Year's Eve or New Year's Day, the rain will pick back up. So we're going to take advantage of that today and take a flight up. Our departure today out of Oakland, let's go ahead and take a look at the weather. All right, we've got winds 350 at 3 knots, so we can do a 2-8 departure. 2-8 right departure most likely. Visibility is 10 square miles. Clouds scattered at 100 feet. Again, it's looking out my window, it's very clear out. Temperature 45 degrees, not too cold. Should be fine. We won't be flying too high up today. Altimeter 3034. We'll see what the sim says when we get in. And a density altitude of minus 1,288 feet. Very impressive. All right, so our route today is going to be Oakland, probably a Nimitz 5 type departure. We're going to get vectors, probably stay east of Interstate 880, follow US 80 up the coast. We're going to head to our first waypoint, which is Skaggs. What is that? VOR? Oh my gosh, what is this? And then the next waypoint is really just going to be the VOR up near our destination airport. I think it's the Mendocino VOR. Yes, it is. And we're not actually going to follow the route all the way to the VOR because there is some terrain here, and depending on what the wind's doing here, take a quick look at Ukiah. The weather is showing winds calm, so we might. I don't think we'll do a straight-in departure on runway 33. I think what we'll do is make left traffic down into runway 15. So that should be pretty straightforward. Pattern altitude is 1,000 feet above the ground. So yeah, this looks like a pretty straightforward flight. 3 passengers on board. We're taking the Cessna 210. And we do have our 100-hour check coming up here pretty soon. I think we've got 91, 92 hours, and around 8 hours left before we have to do that required 100-hour check on the airframe. And I'll actually be considering, in FSEconomy, what Bay Area Regional Airport has the best maintenance fees for the 100-hour check. I think that different FBOs can set different prices. I want to look into that and sort of treat this as I would in real life. I've got my lossless scaling window open and ready to go. And of course, I've got my Map Enhancement Pro using Apple Maps already started. So at this point, we're just going to fire up X-Plane, and I'll see you in the sim. All right, so we are in. We've got our passengers loaded up. Let's get our door closed. Whoa. Let's get our door closed. Okay. Let's get that baggage door closed. Can't really see it, but maybe we'll hear it. I didn't hear it. Uh-oh. Let's go back out and check. Yeah, baggage door is closed. The battery's going to come on. Okay. And let's get our fuel on the... Oh boy, look at these tanks. We are low. Go left tank today. It's the more full tank. Get our cow flap open. Oh boy. Halfway, if I could... There we go. Oh boy. Is this an omen? Alright, let's get our fuel pump on. And make sure it's going to come in. And let's bring the throttle in. See our fuel pressure rising. Let's get that cut off. And I flooded the engine. Well, that's because the mixture was in, which I should not have been. Alright, fuel pump comes off. Let's go beacon on. Nav lights on. And we're going to have to do what it says here. Max throttle, crank the engine, and then bring in the mixture. So I'm going to need both hands. You can't see this, but I'll need both hands on my peripherals here. So I got my left hand on the ignition key. My right hand is on the throttle quadrant. Let's go max throttle. Clear prop. There we go. Woo. That was a tough start, but a good start. All right, let's get our RPMs up. Lean that mixture back a bit. We'll go for 1100 RPM. I'm gonna close the cowl flaps. Or cowl flap. Actually, no, there's 2 cowl flaps. Get them closed. Let's get this engine warmed up. And let's get the alternator on. Let's get our avionics on. Let's get our... I think our nav is already on. Excellent. I'm gonna get our pitot heat on. Let's get all of our other lights off. And we'll keep these guys on. It's gonna get bright, so I don't need to worry too much about cabin lighting. But since it is early, I'll get our dash lights on. Alright. Continue, continue, continue. We're gonna move to set up our flight plan here in a minute. Plane is fired up. We're warming up a bit. And it is going to be a, I think, beautiful sunrise here out of Oakland International.
International Information Foxtrot 1510 Zulu Special.
That's right,
Arriving
3024.
1210 right,
Okay.
10 left, 15.
Yeah, look,
Departing
check this out. You can see it on the DTN.
10
There's
right,
literally a plane
10 left, 15. Wind, light, and
taking
variable.
off.
Visibility more than 10 miles. Sky.
And I'll throw ground up in there. I think 1219, yeah, is our what do they call it? The north side of the airport, the north side of the field versus the south side of the field. South side of the field of Oakland International is dedicated to commercial. So that's runway 30 primarily. And the north side of the airport is more of the GA corporate. So you've got your 1028 runways, your 1533 runway, which is really just for GA. We're not going to be using that today. Let's get our flight plan in here because that is important. Alright, so SGD, SCAGs. You know what? We could just throw in our destination. That, and then we can edit it. That's what I love about the GTN. It's touchscreen, you can edit things on the fly, so check this out. We'll drag ourselves up to our destination airport. ENI, that was the VOR I wanted to go to. Oh, we got a small jet, CRJ. It's probably ASP 844. That's not an, I don't think that's an airline. Anyways, so let's edit this flight plan. We're going to drag in here ENI. I think we would be the NIMI 5 technically. Runway 28 right. Right? And it would just basically be vectors. And I think eventually vectors to SKG to SCAGs VOR. But again, here in Oakland, typically taking off with ATC, if we're on runway 28 or even runway, what is it, 33, often they'll ask us to take off and you're actually going to turn north and turn away from Alameda Island, cross over 880, stay typically north of 880, and then you can sort of make your way up the bay through Oakland, through Berkeley, and out towards the North Bay, which is the direction we're going today. So I guess I'll load up this departure technically, but I don't really think we would need it, and I'll have to just note in our nav that we'll have to sort of change our waypoint to be on course. But that is technically what would be likely to happen here, would be vectors out of here. Alright, so I think our flight plan information is good. Sorry for the rambling. It's been a minute, and I want to make sure I get everything correct as we get out of here, because things are going to happen quick. Once we take off, we've got a lot to manage. There are some winds, 3 knots, nothing crazy. I'm actually grateful the wind has died down today. Yesterday the wind was way worse. So yeah, we're going to take advantage of that today on this flight. Passengers are ready to go. I hope they're ready to go. Let's check in with them. Alright, passengers are ready to go. We've got 3 passengers on board. I know you can't see them, but we are giving a thumbs up from back here. So we are ready. Parking brake comes off. Let's go. Flying. Our cowl flaps are closed, so we're going to open those back up. Alright, we're going to make our way over to runway 28 right. You know what? Let's get on our ground frequency. So get over onto the taxiway. Right now we're not. As soon as you cross this line here, we are now officially on the taxiway. We'll get our transponder on. Boom. Oh, look at this sunrise. My goodness. That looks insane. X-Plane 12. Woo! Well, let's go. Wow. And you got some traffic taking off here. We are pretty light today, so I'm not even going to bother with flaps. And I actually recall, I'm a bit rusty, that the Cessna 210 flaps for takeoff are not required. And that makes sense with this turbocharged Lycom engine. Oh, that was a good landing, I guess. Yeah, with this turbocharged Lycom engine, we have plenty of power to do takeoffs without flaps, even fully loaded, to be honest. And what I'd like to do if we can get a good takeoff is when I lift the nose and get airborne, I'll hover a couple feet above the ground, bring the gear up, keep the wings level as we bring the gear up, pick up speed, and then I'll pitch for our climb out of here. But at this particular airport, typically you're taking off. As soon as you're stabilized and climb, you're turning out and turning away from Alameda. So I don't know if we'll have time for that. But I see there's some traffic right now coming in. Ooh, butter. Nice. A lot of traffic out. But this might be our window. All right, we're going to go 1183. 1183. Switch over to that, and then our departure frequency. We should expect NorCal, and I think we're going to be on kind of the west, so like maybe 1351, or technically 120.9. That's probably what we're going to be on. So 1209 for our departure. And that just has to do with, I'm looking at ForeFlight, and it, you know.
Delta 1865, LA turning 24 left, line is 08.
24 left, line is 08, Delta 1865.
Yeah, it's very common that at most airports that are, you know, Class Charlie, Class Bravo, right? There's going to be different frequencies around, depending on where your direction is from where you're departing. So if I was departing to the north, I might go to one approach frequency or departure frequency. If I was heading south from the airport, maybe it's a different one. That is especially true here in the Bay Area, where you've got San Francisco International and Oakland International, and further to the south, not that far, San Jose International, with a very popular Hayward Executive all mixed in here. And that is not even to mention any of the peninsula airports west, on the west side of the bay there, which is called the Peninsula. All right, I'm going to shut that up, and let's get this plane airborne. Strobes are on, and our lights are pulsing. Let's go. Ooh, this should be a good flight, I hope. Sim is looking good. Weather is looking good. Let's punch it. And I don't mean actually punch it. I actually mean let's get the turbo spool going, and then now we can bring that throttle in carefully. Sorry, I'm a little off center. All right, here we go. There's 80. It's for takeoff. Tap the brakes. Gear comes up. Ooh, boy. All right, gear's coming up. Now we've got a little bit more speed. And we're out of here. Let's go. Let's pop up to the hood view. And I'm going to start turning right because we can see to the right and directly in front of us, we've got Alameda. And I need to avoid that because of noise abatement rules. So, no big deal. We'll fly over the golf course instead, which is located at the western end of the airport. And here we are turning away from Alameda. Beautiful. All right, so the first set of major lights you see below and off to our left here, that is Interstate 880. This is Oakland in front of us. These are the hills of Oakland, directly off in front of us. And wow, it looks good. Oh my goodness. Wow. Oh boy. Passengers, do you guys like the view? Oh yeah, these passengers love it. Look at that Coliseum below us. Amazing. Alright, so we are climbing great. I'm going to bring our manifold pressure down. Let's bring our props back a bit. Bring them back to 2,500 RPM. I'm going to go yaw damper on. And I said we're only going to 2,000 today. We're almost there. So I'm actually going to bring our mixture back. I'm sorry, our throttle back a bit more. Just let the plane help us get to a level flight. Alright, so we are north of 880. We just crossed over it. You see all the traffic down below us. Downtown Oakland is off here to our 10 o'clock. Wonderful. Just get trimmed out here. Alright, and at this point we've been cleared to proceed on course. So we are suspended. We're going to unsuspend, and we're going to go direct to SGD, and we are set up for that. Beautiful. I'm going to go around the hills here, so we're just going to kind of keep our current heading of like 320 degrees roughly. We're going to stay roughly at 2,000 RPM if we can. I tell you, when you take a break and come back into the sim, I don't actually have an issue with like the time away. I don't know, sometimes I feel like my controller settings gotta come back in. I gotta do a little bit of adjusting. Like I realized this morning that the profile I have for my twin engines in X-Plane, a lot of my, I guess, how would you describe that? What is that called? Like your sliders, your sensitivity settings, your profile, like, not your profiles, but like, you know, you can adjust your yaw X, you know, your XYZ input, access, right? The curves. That's exactly what it is. Jeez. I feel like sometimes I come back in and it's like whatever settings I had, I'm like, I need to tweak these a bit. This doesn't feel quite right, you know. So today I had to tweak the rudder curve. Yeah, we are still climbing. Let's get back down to 2,000, guys. And boy, these hills look incredibly green, which is great because IRL right now, they actually are incredibly green. With all the rain we've been getting, we've been blessed. So let's hop out and yeah, we're just gonna let the plane do its thing. I think we're somewhat stable, so I'm not too worried about it. Let's hop out and enjoy the scenery. Yeah, right now, IRL, the hills of the Bay Area are green and beautiful, and it is always a treat because there have been several years off and on where we have not been able to experience green hills. And the Bay Area, I think, is beautiful even when the hills are the golden yellow, golden brown, or dry. I still think the hills are beautiful. But when they are green, oh my goodness. It really helps me connect with the land. It's not, you know, flight simulator, but my goodness, it is satisfying. It is satisfying to see this level of visual, I don't even know what I would call it, right? Sort of visual performance. I don't know if that's even the right words. My point is, I love X-Plane because of the flight dynamics. I love flying in X-Plane. I like the way planes feel. I like that it is, you know, all about you customizing and tweaking it and finding mods, finding free mods. Flight Sim is great for that, but I'm always still coming back to X-Plane because I just like the way the planes fly. And the way this looks now with, oh my goodness, with map enhancement and X-Plane updates, I mean, it is unbelievable. Absolutely unbelievable. Alright, so we should be looking for a 101, I think at this point. Which I don't see it at all, to be honest. And we don't have necessarily the lights below us anymore. So that's a bummer. But I know we're kind of going up a valley to get to Ukiah. Yeah, so we're just gonna... Oh, we're not near 101, but that's okay. Up beyond the... that mountain range, or that hill, whatever you want to call it, directly in front of us, a few miles ahead, we'll actually be able to join up with 101 over there. So that is fine. We're going to end up basically following 101 further north. We've still got, I don't even want to know, I think like 38 miles to go, 40 miles to go to our destination. So you know what are we at? 2,500 still? 3,200. Uh-oh. Alright, well, let's just go up to 4,000. I think I'm autopilot on. Little heading mode. Altitude, we're going to go up to 4,500. Although that's really not necessary. Maybe I can just chill here at, I know I should be more like 4,000. Actually going to keep my eyes peeled for 101, which could be actually right over there. Either that's river or that's 101. That's a river, okay. And there's 101. And look at all the traffic down below. What's going on there? Because they're flying at the same altitude. There's some aerial photography. Uh-oh, we've got some clouds I see up ahead. Yeah, we sure do. Just have to keep an eye on that. Boy, this is looking great. I'll say we are using Apple Maps for our map enhancement, and honestly, the color representation compared to Google Maps in this particular region, it's night and day. Google Maps looks awful here, and the beauty of Map Enhancement Pro is I could actually go in and tweak the color settings for Google Maps if I wanted to still use those satellite imagery. But it's not just about the color of the satellite imagery. I think Apple Maps also does better with shadows. When we were in Lake Tahoe, I was doing a flight in Lake Tahoe. I'm not sure if you saw that or not. I don't think you did. Wait, yes, in the map enhancement video, Lake Tahoe with Google Maps, the shadows are very pronounced, but Apple Maps has done a great job of sort of taking care of that. approach. We're not that close. We're kind of close. We're kind of close. I'm going to go ahead and get our information prepped. We're actually out of ATC frequency range. So let me take a look at the frequencies around the airport, and we'll just hop over to center. And then we'll get 119.27 pulled up. I'm going to pull up here on the second GPS here we have, and it's going to be 119.27. 119.27. And the reason I'll do this, and I wish I had physical controls in my sim pit to be able to adjust COM 1 and COM 2. I know that SciTech has the radio panels. They're just so bulky and kind of expensive for what they are. They don't feel that great. I would love a high fidelity type of just radio knob, both the inner, a larger and a smaller, so I could adjust frequencies without having to use the mouse, because I feel like that breaks the immersion. All right, 119.27. Uh-oh. I guess 119.275. And we'll go and monitor too. So this is why I like to put my ATIS in COM 2, is so that I can monitor and pick up the ATIS when I do hear it. And I don't hear it now. I also don't hear center, which is interesting. 127.8. Usually I would hear some sort of traffic. So let's switch back and see.
Highly visible. Wind 360 degrees 4 knots.
All right, so wind's 360. We actually are gonna want to land on runway 33. Right, pull up here our info. Runway 33 would be our best runway with the wind. That kind of makes it a straight-in approach, which I don't think you would really want to do in real life. Like, you would really want to know if there's other traffic around, either in the pattern or making its way into or out of the pattern. I don't think a straight-in approach is really kind of ever the way to go. I think it's always best to approach or enter the pattern from a downwind, or really a base, but to enter the pattern straight-in approach, I don't think that's best practices, especially unless the airport's empty. I think in this case, the airport will be empty. So I'm just going to do that.
Automated weather observation.
And, got our altimeter, we've got our wind, so let's get the monitoring COM 2 off. And let's hop back up here. See what's going on the flight deck here. All right, so we've got some terrain. We could see 101 below us. So I'm going to actually just adjust my heading slightly. And just aim for the low point of the terrain ahead of us. What would you call that, a saddle? Alright, I'm going to keep my eye out for that traffic in front of us. It's 1,500 feet above us. I don't think we'll... Oh, no, we absolutely can see it. So, again, non-factor. And we can see the valley in front of us. And as soon as we sort of clear some of this terrain, maybe a couple more miles, we'll start our descent. We're only going down 2,000 feet. So 600 feet per minute. We need just about 3-4 minutes to make our descent. And what we'll do is I'll see what we're tracking right now. So our time to reach our destination is around 4 minutes to reach our next waypoint where we want to be at or below 1,600 feet. So technically we should be starting our descent now. Now we're at 140 knots. What I'll do is I'll start to pull the power back a bit. We should have visual with the airport actually. It should be 3 miles away or so. And oh boy, I don't really see it. Is that it? That's not it. Where the heck is this airport? Oh, I see it. Okay, got it. Alright, so yeah, this is interesting. Alright, we're going to hand fly it down. I've got my yaw damper on still. I'm going to keep yaw damper on just for a few more moments. We've got our descent. We're almost at 1,600 feet. And I will start lining up here. Interesting approach. Runway 33, you're kind of hugging the terrain here, which is a bit worrisome. I'm going to drop some flaps down just because I want to be able to get lined up here and get our landing gear down. soon as I turn on the final, get my wings level, I will drop the gear. Here we go. Here's our turn on the final. Let's get the yaw damper off. Here we go. And let's go gear down. And let's go mixture full. Prop full. Let's try to get her stabilized here. Flaps are on 1. Alright, Ukiah. We are on a short final, runway 33. Full stop, Ukiah. Got our green lights? Yes, we do. Beautiful, soft landing. Bring the power back evenly. Get that mixture back a bit. I see some lights ahead of us, so I do want to get off the runway ASAP. We'll take the very first exit. And let's get off the runway for this traffic, which is probably landing the other direction, because X-Plane loves to do that to me. Here we go. Alright, landing lights come off, strobe lights come off. Nav lights come off. We keep our taxi lights on. Beacon lights are on. Let's bring our flaps up. Cowl flaps open. Should have been open on our approach. And where do we want to go? I guess we're going to go straight ahead to the FBO here. I don't see anything else obvious where we want to bring our passengers. Park brake on. Taxi light comes off. Welcome to Ukiah, folks. Appreciate you being on the flight. Avionics off. We're gonna go alternator off. Let's bring the mixture back. Great. Let's bring the magnetos off. Go beacon off. And let's get our cabin air turned off. Let's get our panel lights off. Let's get our pitot heat off. Excellent. At this point, there's really no need to keep the battery on, so we'll go battery off as well. And we'll go fuel off. All right, well, thank you so much for joining me today. It was a pretty good flight. I hope you enjoyed it. It was a nice scenic route through the North Bay of California. All right, so we're going to get these passengers offloaded. Let's get the doors open. Let's get our cargo door open. Beautiful. Let's get these passengers unloaded. Thank you so much, everyone. I hope you take care.